Hi, everyone. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. It's been a few weeks that we've been together. I just wanted to stop in and say hello. Welcome to Yoga for Change and all levels vinyasa flow today. And just a reminder, this is your practice. This is the time that you've set out for yourself, for self-love, self-care, and for change. So please honor your body and honor your breath during this entire practice. Today is very special. It's all about Houston. I don't know if you know, but I am in Houston, Texas here, Houston Transplant. And today's organization is the Project Row Houses. So that project occupies a significant footprint in Houston's historic Third Ward, one of the city's oldest African-American neighborhoods. And what this platform is a community platform that enriches lives through art with an emphasis on cultural identity and its impact on urban landscape. So, Black's lives still matter. It's been weeks later, and it's time to make a change. So 100% of these donations will be going to Project Row Houses. They engage in collective and creative action through neighbors, artists, and enterprises. So creative action is what we're here to do. That's what, as yogis, we can do for these organizations. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start today in Supta Baddha Konasana. We come all the way down onto the earth. As our shoulders press into the mats, we bring the soles of the feet together to kiss. Allow both knees to jet out in opposite directions. If your palms feel awkward here, maybe you place them onto the earth for more of a grounding practice. If your thoughts were chaotic and crazy. If you're looking to receive any of this energy, go ahead and plant the palms facing the ceiling. And if you're looking for more of an introspective practice, an opportunity to look within, place one palm on the heart center and the other palm underneath the low belly, feeling that prana, feeling that breath inside you. And start to settle in here. Shut the eyes down. And let whatever happened before this moment go. Can you allow your thoughts to dissipate? And can you allow yourself to start to bring your awareness to your breath and your body? So not worrying about what your breath looks like just yet. Just take note of your breath and notice how the natural cadence of your breath allows your belly to rise and to fall. Sending your breath to those hips. If it's a little bit too much, you can start to send your feet away from the body. And if you're looking for a little bit more, go ahead and send the heels closer to the perineum. Take this moment to settle in. I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe you dedicate your practice to someone or something that inspires you. Maybe you fine-tune what it is that's going on in your head. So maybe that intention is a person, place, or thought. Maybe it's a memory that makes you smile inside. Whatever it is, can you start to hone in? Can you start to feel that power within you? Taking one full belly breath, inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Let the collarbone expand. Hold this breath at the top of the throat and then open the mouth. Audible exhale. Let something go here. Ha! Not worrying about germs since we are in our own homes. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Let the chest rise. Hold this breath at the top of the throat and then open the mouth. Another audible exhale. Let me hear you. Let something go. Ha! One more breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. This time we seal our lips and let the heat escape through both nostrils. Starting to dial into your Ujjayi pranayama, your victorious breath. This breath, we build heat in the back of the throat as if you're fogging up a glass or a mirror. So this slight constriction in the back of your throat starts to build, always having the option to let it go by simply opening the mouth and exhaling through the mouth. As the oceanic sounds start to fill the body, as that Darth Vader breath starts to happen from the back of the throat. Slowly start to blink the eyes open here, maybe a slight gaze towards the nose, bringing the palms on the outside of the thighs and then slowly closing your knees together like a book. We were here for a while in Supta Baddha Konasana, so be kind to those hips. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Exhale, release the feet down. Send the low back towards the earth. Dorsiflex those fins here. Bring the palms to reach past the thighs. Option to lift the shoulders off the earth. Start to activate the core here as if you have an orange underneath the throat. Can you lift from the chest versus lifting from the neck? Can you lift from the core versus lifting from the neck as well? Holding in stillness, squeeze those thighs together, dorsiflex those fins, invite those shakes into your practice. Holding here for 10, 9, 8, give yourself a big smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release, send the knees into the chest, start to create those low back circles. Getting nice and juicy in this low back, think massage here. So maybe you massage your kidneys from side to side, maybe you switch the direction to counterclockwise. On the next inhale, both heels lift high to the sky this time, creating an L shape with our body. Dorsiflex those fins, stay nice and active in the legs, squeeze the thighs together. Option to keep the shoulders on the earth here, option to up level, follow me. Bring the palms together to clasp. Kali Mudra, both index fingers are pointing nice and high, think love guns here. Inhale, lift nice and high through the chest, lift the shoulders off the earth. From here, can you act as if those index fingers are poking a hole into the ceiling? We're pulsing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold at 1. Squeeze those thighs together. Activate the core. Invite those shakes into your practice. That means you're getting stronger. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Let that breath go. Start to create those circles again with that low back. Starting to build heat in the body here. If you're not already starting to break a sweat, no worries. We will get there. Every body is different, and everybody is different. Inhale, last one. Heels come high to the sky. Squeeze those thighs together, dorsiflex the fins. Start to send the palms behind the neck this time. Lift through the chest. Option to leave those shoulders on the earth if you'd like. Take one full inhale here. Exhale, start to send the heels about a quarter of the way down. Remember, think orange underneath the throat. Lift nice and high through the chest, through the core. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, can you release the heels about 3/4 of the way down? From here, send the elbows towards that center line. Lift nice and high, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Start to roll in those circles. Switching the direction to counterclockwise here. Grab underneath the thighs. We start to rock and roll up and down the spine. So take your time finding some hang time maybe on that tailbone. Think massage parallel to the spine. So all the way from the back of the neck to the low tailbone. Maybe you find some hang time here. When you're ready, meeting in high boat. In this high boat, can you bring the knees in towards the chest? Squeeze those thighs together. If that feels good for you, maybe you start to open up your palms towards the ceiling. If you're ready for a little bit more, maybe you start to squeeze the thighs together, extend in the legs, think nice and tall, proud chest. Finding your core strength, inviting those shakes, holding here for 10, 9, 8, give yourself a big smile. Yoga's supposed to be fun, everyone. Give me a smile. 4, 3, 2, 1. Activating the core, crossing at the ankles, and coming into a tabletop pose on your mat. So in this tabletop pose, our wrists are directly underneath the shoulder blades. Knees are about hips width distance apart underneath the hips. Untuck the toes, drop the belly low, start to send the gaze nice and high. Bolster your heart towards the stars, cow pose. Exhale, press into the earth, round the spine, send the gaze towards the navel, cat pose. Finding some fluidity in our spine, drop the belly low, open up the chest, send the gaze nice and high. Exhale, press the palms into the mat, round the spine, protracting your shoulder blades and send your gaze towards the navel. Drop the belly low, open up the chest one more time, send the gaze nice and high. And then exhale, round the spine, gazes towards the navel, protracting the shoulder blades, cat pose. Coming back to neutral spine for just a moment. Shut the eyes down here and take any free movement that your body is craving. So no judgment on your mat. Do whatever feels good here. No reason to be embarrassed. Let your breath and your body be your ultimate compass here. So maybe you start to roll out the wrists. Maybe you rock the neck back and forth. Maybe you do a little dance move here if that feels good. Be kind to yourself today. Give yourself a laugh every once in a while. We're here for 2 more breaths exploring in this tabletop pose. And then coming back to neutral. Neutral tabletop pose, paying attention to those architectural lines, wrists directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees are hips width distance apart underneath the hips. Tuck those toes, rise 2.5 inches off the earth. We're in a lifted tabletop pose here. So in this lifted tabletop, press your palms into the mat, slightly protract your shoulder blades, send your gaze in between the palms. You should feel the line of energy through palm to shoulder, activate the core here, press into those feet. You are strong, making sure those knees are in fact 2.5 inches off the earth. Maybe you stay here, maybe you run through some cat-cows with lifted knees if that feels good. Option to up level here, option to modify by dropping down to the knees. One more round of cat-cows, drop the belly low, open up the chest, send the gaze high. Exhale, press into the palms, round the spine, send the gaze towards the navel. Come back to neutral. If those knees are still lifted, you got this. If you came down, come right back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Send the heels towards your mat. Start to lift the glutes towards the sky. Downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, our feet are hips width distance apart. Our palms are a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. We're sending our gaze towards the toes to elongate the neck. Pressing down into the index finger and the base knuckle of the index and the thumb. Start to breathe here. If your low back has been bothering you, go ahead and take a slight bend in those knees. Maybe you generously bend in both knees, walking that dog out. Finding stillness, neutral spine. Take one big inhale here, lift both heels high to the sky. Exhale, can you sink them a little bit closer towards the earth? Gaze is in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. So in this halfway lift, think number 7 with your spine. Plug those shoulders into the back wall, slightly tuck the chin. A micro bend in those knees. Take one big breath here. And then exhale, start to release the palms, sending them behind the neck. Feel that core turn on. One more breath here. Think flat back. Think your favorite glass of wine is on your back. Trying not to spill. One more breath. Exhale, release the chest down, forward fold. Root down from the feet, rise up through the body, all the way up. Send the gaze in between the palms. Maybe you take a slight back bend here, and then exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift out of the Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the palms, move into your high plank. So take your time in this high plank, option to drop down to those knees, of course. Press the palms into the mat, protracting your shoulder blades. Yogi high plank, nice protracted shoulder blades here. Take one more breath. Exhale, tuck those elbows in towards the ribs. Send the shoulders past the wrists and lower down for a low plank. We're creating an L shape with our forearm and our tricep. Take one more breath. Exhale, press the palms into the earth. Find your high plank. Take one inhale here. Exhale, tuck those elbows in towards the ribs. Lower all the way down onto the belly. Untuck the toes. As the shoelace portion of your feet ground down into your mat, can you lift the chest nice and high? Bhujangasana, low cobra. In this low cobra pose, a few different options. For a nice low back relief, maybe you open up the feet a little bit wider. For a little bit more, maybe you bring the toes together to touch. Lift the palms off the earth to test that back body. Send the elbows to magnetize towards one another. Take one inhale here. Through the exhale, can you lift a little bit higher? Find that back body turn on. One more breath. Exhale, plant the palms, roll over the toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Generously bend in both knees here. Get nice and groovy through the body. And then coming back to stillness. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, release them down towards the mat. Shift the gaze from the toes towards the middle of the palms. Walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift out of the Uttanasana. Nice flat back. Plug those shoulders into the back wall. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Start to send the gaze towards the fingertips. Maybe you take a slight back bend. Swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high to low plank, choosing your journey through your vinyasa. Maybe you tuck the elbows and take a few extra chaturanga push-ups here. Maybe you skip your vinyasa, upward facing dog, pull the chest through here. Press the palms into the mat. Squeeze those thighs together as the shoelace portion of your feet are grounding down into the earth. Shoulders melt away from the ears, slightly tuck the chin in. Take one breath here. Exhale, start to send the gaze towards those right toes. Find a twist in the spine. And then exhale, come back to neutral. Gaze goes towards the left toes here, twist in the spine. Exhale, back to neutral. Maybe you plant the tops of the thighs onto the earth, and maybe you start to send the toes towards the back of the head. In this mini back bend, press the palms into the mat, send your chest a little bit higher. And then exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Generously bend in both knees, get nice and groovy with your down dog, find some movement and playfulness. And then coming back to that neutral inverted V shape. So this down dog is so important because all of our organs are on top of our diaphragm here. With each breath, our diaphragm grows a little bit stronger. Take one more inhale here, both heels come high to the sky. Exhale, sink them deep into the earth. One last sun A for good measure. Gazes in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Listen for the change. Grabbing for the left wrist here. Moving over towards the right side. Can you ground down in both heels? Spiral your chest towards the ceiling. Take one full inhale here. Exhale, use the breath to sink a little bit deeper. Inhale through center. Exhale, grabbing the right wrist, moving over towards the left side. Can you spiral your chest towards the ceiling? Take one more full breath. And expansion through this right lung. With the exhale, can you sink a little bit deeper? Inhale through center. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high to low plank. You flow, you grow. Chaturanga, check in. Make sure you tuck those elbows into the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, right foot lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog. Maybe you point the toe, or maybe you send the right toes towards the earth to square off the hip for more of a traditional three-legged dog. Bend into this right knee and start to create big circles here. First moving clockwise, grounding evenly into both palms, and then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Back to three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross body, hold. Feel those obliques work. Three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Plant the right foot in between the palms. Lower this left knee down towards the earth. And then send the right hip back. We're coming in for half Hanuman, half split. In this half split, maybe you start to send the hips closer towards the heels. Maybe you start to shimmy into a full split if your body is ready for it. Taking a few breaths, getting nice and juicy in this right hamstring. Can you start to send the toes towards the mat? And then exhale, bend into this right knee. Leave the left palm grounded. Right palm sends high to the sky. Easy twist. From this easy twist, can you tuck the left toes? Rise all the way up. You're in an easy twist here. Send the gaze towards the right fingertips. From here, take one full breath. Exhale, goalpost in the arms. Start to send your gaze towards the ceiling. Find a nice heart opening. Inhale, back through center. From here, slow and controlled, grounding down into this right foot. We're rising all the way up for a twisted lunge. Take your time in this twisted lunge. We're creating a right angle with this right knee. Open up those wings even wider. Start to send your gaze towards the right thumb. We're here for one more breath. You got this. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, right palm comes down, left palm paints a rainbow towards the ceiling. Releasing all the way down, left palm comes towards the earth. Easy twist, gazes towards the right fingertips. From here, start to bring all the weight onto this left side, Vashisthasana side plank. Option to drop this left knee towards the earth to modify. Or option to up level by lifting that top leg. Maybe you grab for the toe here. Press this left palm into the earth to send your hip a little bit higher in whichever variation that you're in. Take one more inhale here. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, slowly release this right palm down towards the earth. Maybe that right foot stays lifted for a one-legged chaturanga. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch. Start to send your chest down towards your mat. Hips come down as well, child's pose. Taking this opportunity to come back to that intention that you set in the beginning of class. There's a quote that's been sticking with me this week, and that quote is, if you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So just like life, when we're feeling stagnant, and we're feeling like we're saying the same things over and over again, but is anyone really listening? Can you find change? And can you find what weighs you down, and can you let that go here? One more breath in this child's pose, root down to your intention. And then exhale, start to walk the palms close to the body, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Left heel comes high to the sky for that three-legged dog, option to point the toe, or option to send the left toes towards the mat, squaring off the hip. Bend in this left knee and start to create those big circles here. First moving clockwise. And then if it feels good, switching that direction to counterclockwise, getting nice and juicy in the synovial fluid of this left hip. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg high to the sky. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Back to three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, cross-body hold, feel those obliques work. Three-legged dog. Left knee in towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the left foot in between the palms. Lower this right knee down towards the earth, untuck the right toes, and start to send this left hip all the way back. Half Hanuman, half split. In this half split, option for my advanced yogis to move into a full split. Take your time. If you're with me, can you let each exhale send you a little bit deeper through this left hamstring? They say yoga is the bridge between mind, body, breath, and soul. Can we start to connect here? Exhale, bending into this left knee, planting the right palm down and finding yourself in an easy twist. Left palm lifts. From this easy twist, can you tuck the right toes, rise all the way up. One inhale here. Exhale, bend in this left arm, start to spiral your chest towards the ceiling. Find a heart opening here. Release down, gazes to the left fingertips. Slow and controlled, grounding down into this left foot. We're rising up to find a twisted lunge. So option to drop this bottom knee to modify, or option to up level by opening up those wings a little bit wider and sending your gaze towards the left thumb. Creating a nice right angle with this left knee. Take one more breath here. You got this. Exhale, release the shoulders down. Inhale, left palm comes behind you, right palm paints a rainbow. And then exhale, release that right palm towards the earth. Easy twist. Gazes to the left fingertips here. Take one more breath. Slow and controlled, starting to bring all the weight onto this right side, Vashisthasana side plank. You are strong, you got this. Option to lower that knee if you'd like, or option to up level. Can you lift that top leg nice and high? Can you engage in the core, start to press the earth away from you with this right palm? Give yourself a nice big smile, you got this. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Releasing the left palm down to the mat. Maybe that left foot stays lifted for your vinyasa. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch, sending the chest down, child's pose. Use this opportunity to come back to your intention. Use this opportunity to slow the heart rate down with your breath. Through the nose, out the nose, you got this. Dial into your Ujjayi pranayama. One more breath here. Exhale, start to walk the palms towards the body. Make your way into a downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, send the gaze towards the toes to elongate the neck. Right heel lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog, scorpion tail, right heel towards left glute. Option to dorsiflex the fins or point. If that right armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square off towards your mat, grounding evenly into both palms? From here, bending into this right knee, starting to create those big circles. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, active listening. We're sliding that right knee down towards the wrist. And then moving it over towards the left wrist before you shoot it back up, three-legged dog. That was so fun. Let's try it one more time. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Slide down to right wrist. Over towards left wrist. Back to three-legged dog. Beautiful yogis. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the foot in between the palms. We're pivoting this left foot to 45 degrees and then rising up, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. In this Warrior 1 pose, we're creating a right angle with this right knee. Our back heel is pivoted to 45 degrees, which means if there was a laser coming out of this right heel, it should directly bisect the left foot. Send the gaze in between the palms and allow the shoulders to melt down. Squeeze those thighs together, activate in the glutes. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release. You are strong. One more breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, pivot this left foot. Commit to the bend in this right knee, Warrior 2. In this Warrior 2, our hips are squared towards the left. Our drishti or gaze is in between the right fingertips. Allow the shoulders to melt down the spine. Our right knee is in line with our second toe. Take one more breath. And then exhale, moving into one of my favorite variations. Start to come onto the right toes. Cross at the wrist, lift the chest nice and high. Quad blaster, take one more breath. Exhale, straightening in both legs, reaching for something you desire, hinging at the hips, Trikonasana triangle pose. In this Trikonasana, maybe the palm comes on the inside of the leg. Maybe you press into the shin to lift your chest a little bit higher. Take one more breath. As if your body's in two panes of glass, can you slightly tuck the tailbone in? Inhale, reverse Trikonasana, straightening in both legs. Exhale, bend back into your Warrior 2 just for a moment. Straighten in the legs, start to send the toes towards the left side. Grab both hips, bend at the knees, and find your flat back coming all the way into a wide-legged forward fold. So in this wide-legged forward fold here, maybe you play with an inversion of your choice. Maybe we switch our perspective a little bit. Start to send the palms behind you and see if you can start to lead the crown of your head towards your mat. If you're nowhere near this, no worries. Take a slight bend in the knees to avoid hyperextension and allow yourself to find a deep center line stretch wherever you are. Breathing deeply. Maybe with every exhale, you move a little bit closer. One more breath. Exhale, start to walk the palms underneath the shoulders. Take a halfway lift, go nice and tall through the spine. Exhale, release. Palms come on the outside of the hips, bending generously in both knees. And then rising up with a flat back all the way up. Start to pivot the toes towards the back of your mat. And then from here, can you cartwheel your palms to frame this left foot? Slide the left foot all the way back for a one-legged Chaturanga Dandasana if you'd like. Maybe you drop that left leg down. Maybe you skip your vinyasa entirely and meet us in a child's pose whenever you're done. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down, upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch, start to send the chest towards your mat. So we switched our perspective a little bit. We're at the back of our mat in a child's pose. Take your time here. Use your breath as a tool to start to slow the heart rate down. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, start to walk the palms close to the body, finding your way into that inverted V-shaped downward facing dog. Left heel lifts nice and high, three-legged dog. Option to point the toe or option to square the hips off, sending the toes towards the earth. Scorpion tail, left heel towards right glute. If that left armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square it off towards your mat, rounding evenly into both palms? Starting to create those big circles with the left knee, first moving clockwise. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold, slide the knee down to the left wrist, over towards the right wrist for just a moment before you shoot it up to three-legged dog. One more time, inhale, left knee to left elbow, left knee to left wrist, left knee to right wrist, and then back up, three-legged dog. Amazing job. Inhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the foot in between the palms. Pivot this right foot to 45 degrees and then rise up for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So again, you're at the back of your mat. We're creating a right angle with this left knee. Our back heel is pivoted to about 45 degrees. Squeeze those inner thighs together, activate the glutes. Allow the shoulders to melt down the spine, send the gaze in between the palms. You are strong, you got this. Control the breath, control the mind. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release. Squeeze those thighs together. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, pivot this right foot. Commit to the bend into this left knee, Warrior 2 pose. Sending the shoulders away from the ears, drishti or gaze is towards the left fingertips here. Left knee is in line with the second toe. Square the hips off towards the left side or right side. Inhale, from here we start to cross at the wrists. Maybe you shorten the stance a bit to come onto the left toes. A nice calf stretch, a nice quad blaster here. Take one more breath. Inhale, nice proud chest. Exhale, straightening in both legs, reaching for something you desire, hinging at the hips and coming into Trikonasana triangle pose. So in this Trikonasana triangle pose, option to place the palms on the inside of this left foot. If that doesn't feel good, maybe you press into the shin to lift your chest nice and high, sending the gaze towards the right fingers. Think of your body in two panes of glass, slightly tuck the tailbone in. And then inhale, reverse Trikonasana, straightening in both legs. Bending into this knee for just a moment, Warrior 2. And then straightening in both legs here, pivoting the toes towards the left side. Grabbing the hips, bend in both knees, flat back all the way down, wide-legged forward fold. Again, if you're in this wide-legged forward fold and you want to play with inversions, you're more than welcome. If you're with me, I'm finding a twist this time. Before I twist, plant the palms underneath the shoulders, take a nice halfway lift, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, release this left palm towards the right ankle, open up the chest towards the front of your mat. From here, can you take a halfway lift, think flat back, go nice and tall. Exhale, release down through center. Palms underneath the shoulders, halfway lift. Exhale, release, right palm towards left ankle. Open up the left palm towards the back of the mat. Halfway lift, grow nice and tall, flat back. Exhale, release down through center. Bending in both knees, grabbing the hips, and then rising up. Pivoting both toes towards the front of your mat, cartwheeling the palms to frame this right foot. Can you sweep this right foot all the way back, maybe keeping it lifted for a one-legged chaturanga? Try it here. If it's not for you, maybe it's because you've never tried. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. Starting to get nice and juicy in this downward facing dog. Come onto the knees here. Untuck the toes, and then come all the way down onto the forearms. So from here, we're going to run through some cat-cows on the forearms. Just to open up that spine a little bit more, drop the belly low, send the chest high, bolster your heart towards the front of your mat. And then exhale, press into those forearms, round the spine, send the gaze in towards the navel. Inhale, drop the belly low, open up the chest, send the gaze high. Exhale, round the spine, send the gaze towards the navel. Inhale, coming back to neutral. Palms come onto the earth for that tabletop pose. In this tabletop pose, tuck the toes. Rise 2.5 inches off the earth. You're in that lifted tabletop pose again. You are strong. You got this. Feel your strength here, yogis. Press the palms into the mat. Slightly protract your shoulder blades. Send the gaze in between the palms. I challenge you to run through one cat-cow with lifted knees, dropping the belly low, opening up the chest. Don't give up. You got this. Exhale, round the spine. Send the gaze towards the navel. Neutral, knees are lifted for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Adho Mukha Svanasana, inverted V-shape, downward facing dog. Both toes come together to touch at the back of your mat. Think zip up dog. Right heel comes nice and high towards the sky. And then scorpion tail, right heel towards left glute. If you're ready for that flip dog, you're more than welcome. Ground down into this left palm, flip your dog over, reach for something you desire with the right palm. If you're not ready for that flip dog, go ahead and take those knee circles with your knees, getting nice and juicy in the hip. Right palm comes all the way back down, right foot lifts, three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, give that knee a kiss. Think fluidity here. One movement should be a part of the next. Right knee towards right elbow. Three-legged dog. Right knee towards left elbow, cross-body hold. Slide the right foot down this time and open up for a wild thing. In this wild thing or falling triangle, can you press this right palm into the mat to send your chest nice and high? Take one full inhale here, fill the belly. And then exhale, slowly start to release all the way down onto the glutes. So we're at the back right corner of our mat. Dorsiflex those fins. Take a nice halfway lift, grow tall through the spine. And then exhale, start to walk the palms forward. You're in a forward fold with a straddle at the back of the mat. So here, can you allow yourself to melt down? Can you allow yourself with each exhale to sink a little bit deeper? Keeping that integrity of your flat back, grow nice and tall. And then exhale, start to slowly rise up, walking the palms towards the body. Right palm comes behind you towards the tailbone. We're coming back into that wild thing, so take your time through your transition and listen to these cues. Right palm comes behind the tailbone. We're going to press into that palm to lift the chest nice and high. Send the gaze towards the left fingers. Left fingers come all the way down. You're in a wild thing with your right palm and left palm down. So from here, can you tuck into the elbows? Maybe take a chaturanga push-up. 0 to 5 cross-body push-ups. If you'd like to take 0, no judgment, no worries. If you'd like to take just 1, meet me back in that three-legged dog with your right leg high to the sky. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the foot in between the palms. Pivot that back leg, rise up for a quick warrior 1. Release the palms down to frame this right foot. Through your vinyasa, high to low plank, tuck those elbows in towards the ribs. Maybe you keep that foot lifted. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, can you come onto the knees here? Can you bring the palms into heart center? We're in a modified hero's pose. So a lot of movement on our mats tonight. Changing our perspective a bit. We have one more side before we start to slow the heart rate down. Can you take a moment of gratitude for yourself? And can you take a moment of gratitude for your capable beating heart? So many people in this world do not have the opportunity to be here, breathing on their mats, or breathing at all. Taking one breath here, inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, release. Can you give this next side your all? Yes, you can. You are here. Showing up on your mat is the hardest part. You got this, yogis. Bring the palms down towards the earth and come into that inverted V shape again. Zip up dog, both feet come together to touch at the back of your mat. Left heel comes high to the sky. Scorpion tail, left heel towards right glute. And again, if you're not ready for that flip dog, stay here and create those circles with your left knee. If you're flipping your dog over, ground down into this right palm, flip that dog and reach for something you desire with the left palm. Maybe moving into full wheel if that's in your practice, slow and controlled, coming all the way back, left foot nice and high. Left knee towards the nose, give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, cross body hold, slide the left foot down, and open up the chest here for wild thing or fallen triangle. Can you press this left palm into the mat while you send your chest a little bit higher? Think grace. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, slow and controlled, start to send the glutes towards the earth. You're in a wide-legged forward fold at the back left of your mat. Dorsiflex those fins, send the toes towards the shins. Take one inhale here. Exhale, start to walk the palms down. Allow that release, finding that flat back and sending the gaze towards the earth. So wherever you are in this pose, find some grace here. Be kind to yourself. If you're not where you want to be, no worries. Through each exhale, can you sink a little bit deeper? Remember that yoga isn't about the flexibility. It's about the flexibility that you have with your life and the things that go on in life. Can you ride the wave of life versus fighting against it? Can you soften and surrender? One more breath here. Exhale, start to walk the palms close to the body. Left palm comes all the way back. We're moving into that wild thing. So by the tailbone, left palm grounds down, lifting the chest nice and high, grounding down through the heels. Right palm comes down to meet the left, 0 to 5 chaturanga push-ups. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs. 0 is an option, but so is fun. Maybe you challenge yourself and just take one today. Wherever you are, meet me back in that three-legged dog with your left leg nice and high. Left knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the foot in between the palms. Pivot the right leg, rise all the way up, warrior one for just a quick moment. Slide through a back bend. Release the palms down to frame this left foot. Left foot comes all the way back, sweeping, maybe keeping it lifted for a one-legged chaturanga. Tuck those elbows in towards the ribs, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bringing the feet together to touch at the back of your mat. Zip up dog, navel in towards the spine. Right heel comes nice and high, three-legged dog. We're setting up for pigeon on the right side. So right knee comes in towards the right wrist here. And then the right foot comes towards the left wrist. So in this pigeon pose, if you have a block at home that you'd like to use, you're more than welcome. I want you to square off the hips before you melt your heart down and surrender. So just take a look at your hips here. Take one inhale, lift nice and high, grow tall, lengthen through the spine. We're creating enough space here so we can allow the heart to melt down. Sleeping pigeon, bring the forehead to your mat if that's possible. Maybe you bring your palms together to give yourself a little pillow. Getting nice and juicy in this right hip. So this pose is really uncomfortable and we hold a lot of emotion in our hips. So whatever emotions come up for you here, can you let be? But can you use this opportunity to let that thing go? Can you allow whatever it is that poisons your well-being, let that go right here, right now. Finding the comfortability in the uncomfortability of this pose, take one more breath. Exhale, start to walk the palms close to the body. Take a nice halfway lift. Before you come all the way back into that three-legged dog, allowing your right foot to do whatever it wants for that right hip. So maybe you wiggle and jiggle and move it out. Maybe you release that right foot down, downward facing dog. Zip up dog, both feet come together to touch. Send the gaze towards the toes, navel towards the spine. Take one more breath. Exhale, release left heel high to the sky, setting up for pigeon on the left side. Left knee comes in towards left wrist. Left foot comes in towards right wrist. Before you melt the heart down, can you square the hips off? Take a nice halfway lift, grow tall through the spine. And then start to slowly melt the heart down, sleeping pigeon on your left side. Maybe you find a king pigeon. And if you're like, what's king pigeon? No worries, just allow your heart to melt down here. Finding that little bit of comfortable spot that you have in your head. Just like life, when things get uncomfortable, we stick it out, we stay through. Using this opportunity to find the comfortability in the uncomfortability of this pose. Use this opportunity to sink a little bit deeper through the exhale. We're here for one more breath. Exhale, walk the palms all the way up. Take a nice halfway lift, grow tall through the spine. And then exhale, releasing this foot, coming into that three-legged dog, taking whatever movement that you need with this left leg. Meeting back down into this downward facing dog. We're gonna send the gaze towards the palms here and start to tiptoe all the way to the top of our mat. So this has been my new favorite transition. If you'd like to play along with me, I welcome you. From here, we're coming into a drinking bird pose, or toe stand essentially. So bring the palms onto the mat and bring the toes together. Can you start to come onto the toes here? Squeeze those thighs together. Take a nice halfway lift. Maybe the palms come into heart center here. And to find a strong foundation, you're squeezing the thighs together and sending the chest nice and high, proud chest, crown of your head lifts. From here, maybe you start to sweep the palms back. Stay on the toes here. Dip your nose towards the top of your mat. Think drinking bird. Keep an up dog quality in the chest here. And squeeze the biceps or palms towards one another. So if you shimmy and shake out of this pose, no big deal, no worries. This is our last little bit of power before we plant the palms down. Release the heels down to the mat, come all the way down onto the earth. Release the feet out. Our last little bit of core before we start to slow the heart rate down entirely. Palms come out in front of us. And slow and controlled, vertebrae by vertebrae, can you take your time? Think imaginary beach ball, or think power or fire, whatever it is in between your palms that's keeping you through. Dorsiflex those fins, stay nice and active in your legs. This is the time where I usually just want to give up. But instead, take a little bit more time. You are stronger than you think. And then finally releasing all the way down onto the mat here. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a final squeeze. And then taking these last few breaths to find any poses that maybe your body was craving. Oh, well, someone's knocking on the door, but obviously I'm in the middle of moving into Shavasana, but that's just like life. Maybe you take those few extra steps. Maybe you take those few extra poses here. And then when you're ready, Allow yourself to completely melt on your mat. Bring the palms out to a T. Take up as much space as you need. Shutting the eyes down, taking one final breath together. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Taking a full body scan, softening the space between the brows, and crinkling the nose, softening in the teeth, in the lips, and in the jaw. Can you release in the neck, the shoulders, and in the chest? Can you relax in the biceps, in the forearms, and the palms? Can you start to release through the chest, through the belly, and soften in the hips? Can you soften in the thighs? Can you unbuckle those knees? Relaxing in the shins, in the ankles, all the way towards the toes. Slowly starting to bring awareness back to the body. We wiggle our fingers. Inviting life back into our toes, we give those a little wiggle. And as if you're waking up for the very first time this morning, reaching behind you for the good morning stretch. Watch out for your beautiful plant baby. Hi there. And then bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a final squeeze, thanking yourself for showing up on your mats tonight for self-love and self-care. Choosing either the right side or the left side to fall onto a fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. Can you change the way you look at things? Can you change the way you look at things? That way, the things that you look at change. A simple concept about perception. This pose represents rebirth. Knowing that every single time you step off your mats and into the world is an opportunity for you to begin again. Planting both palms into the mat, rising up to a seated position facing any which way you desire. Bringing the palms to gather all this beautiful energy that you created. Palms kissed to seal our intentions. And down through heart center for gratitude. Taking one final breath together. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs with all this magic, all this goodness that we created. And then exhale, let go of something that no longer serves you. Leave it here with me on your mat. The perfectly imperfect student in me bows, honors, and respects the teachers in all of you. Thank you for allowing me to shine your light and guide you through your practice. Namaste. Yogis, thank you so much. You killed it. All level vinyasa flow, a little bit tough, but we got through it. My name is Natasha again, and if you have any questions about Project Row Houses, just a reminder that 100% of these donations will be going to Project Row Houses in Houston, Texas, a community platform that enriches lives through art with an emphasis on cultural identity and how it impacts the urban landscape in Houston. So if you're Houstonian and you're here watching, do what you can. And if you're here with me, just breathing through your mat, thank you again. I hope to see you guys next week. Namaste, everyone. Mwah. Happy hump day.